This is the machine for you if you need to move big rocks. So stay tuned and I'm going to show you how to do it.
So we decided we were going to move, and moving involves a lot of things. Moving rocks is not amongst your most common tasks, but here we are doing it, and you can see that the Rhino tool system is ideal for moving rocks that you don't want to lift and you don't want to get heavy equipment for. Here's how the system works. It is a leverage-based design and a lot like a seesaw. Weight on the front of the wheels and weight on the back of the wheels. And if you get the weight distribution just right, you can have a lot of weight on there and it'll roll as effortlessly as a grocery cart. You can see I got a big rock on there and a smaller one on the front, but I'm able to wheel that, I'd say about 400 pounds of total rock, onto the trailer without much trouble at all. And I gotta tell you, it feels a lot like fishing when you're able to get these big rocks into your boat, so to speak. And we are big fans of the rocks that we have, that we've discovered in quarries and other parts of our property, and thought they were just too good to pass up. So that is the ridiculousness of what I'm doing here, but it's quite practical. Now we're in the backyard, which is on a hilly area. So although this isn't the most impressive rock, it's still not one you're going to want to carry up a hill. I'd say it's in the neighborhood of 120 to 150 pounds. And here I am reversing the cart so that I can pull it up the hill. Now the cart itself is about 100 pounds, and when you add another 150 pounds on the rock, you're doing a chore. You can see my left hand there is gripping that horizontal cross brace. It's an optional accessory called the handle connector bar, and I highly recommend it for anybody who's going to be using this for uphill and downhill motion. You can see these two flat-proof wheels pivot quite easily, and when you get on a flat surface, it's very easy to move just one rock on the front of that weight, or probably even a bit heavier. And again, no problem getting something of this weight into our cart, our trailer rather, by going backwards. Now here you get to see how the pry bars work. These solid steel pry bars are connected with D10 pins to the frame, and you can see they get underneath these big, heavier rocks. This is one of the bigger rocks we'll have in the video that we put on the front. But you can see getting it up out of the ground is no problem with these double pry bars. And when you got the clamp down, oh, it makes a sweet motion. Boom. Got it. It's secure. It's not going anywhere. And now I can pivot on those easy, flat-proof wheels and take the cart to the trailer. Now this one, as I mentioned, was heavy. And that's again where that handle connector bar, that horizontal brace, comes in place. So you can see I used that to help muscle it into the trailer. And now we've got one of our favorite rocks that we'll use for a step into our chicken coop secured. But it was giving me a little trouble because it is so heavy. And here's again where you can show how the pry bars are a great way to help move them if you just want to muscle them into a different position. This is one of our favorite stones that we collected from a abandoned quarry nearby. Bonnie wouldn't let me leave the property without it. It's a very awkward shape and size, but still no problem weight-wise to get onto the cart. But it was protruding underneath the pry bars and scraping along the pavement, and it caused the clamp to give way. You'll see that that happens on occasion, but it's no problem. You can always remanipulate the rock how you need it to go, just like I did here. Throw the clamp back on in a better position, and it should be no problem to get onto the trailer at this point. Now this next piece of slate is one of our favorites. We like to keep it where we put our chairs, rest our feet on it, but it's a monster. Again, we found this at the old abandoned slate quarry. One of the tricks of the trade to getting it onto the cart is by putting some rocks underneath it at first to give it a little more height so you can get it over the clearance of the frame. I put my foot down to counterbalance the weight, but once you get just the smallest amount of rock onto the cart, it'll hold it down to keep it nice and balanced. Putting some other rocks underneath a larger stone will help you roll it onto the cart. I don't even want to venture to guess how much this one weighs, but I'd say at least 300 pounds. It was a total monster. But again, well worth having. And as you can see, once you have a little bit of weight in the front of the wheels and a massive amount of weight in the back, you can roll it quite easily. And my beautiful and trusty camera lady was going to have to help me push this one in because it was too much. So she just rested her hand on that upright post and gave it a good push for me. And once it was on the trailer, I had a little bit of a problem. How am I going to get this thing out of here? But like all problems, you can solve it pretty easily. This just needed to come off first, and then a little bit of a trick. This is what makes the Rhino so great, is it completely disassembles in just seconds because it's all put together with zinc D10 pins. So what I'm going to do here is just remove the handlebars from the frame itself, pull them right out, and then my trusty camera woman is going to pull the Rhino out, and I just drop the stone, and that's it. Put the handlebars back in just a few seconds, popping the D10 pins back into place, and we're off, ready to rock and roll for another one. So this is one of our other favorites. It's a nice big flat piece. Whatever they were quarrying, they left some real beauties behind. And this one made a great step at the top of the staircase, but I was thinking, boy, I really want to take this one with me, even if it's in a clumsy position. This is the first time we tried to get it over a lip like that, out of a spot. You can see with these dual flat-proof wheels and the solid grip that you get from that clamp, you can even get over some pretty uneven terrain and still hold on to your prize. Like I said, it's a lot like fishing. Once you get these big rocks into your trailer, it's just like getting a beautiful bass into your boat. But that's for just us. We're kind of rock nerds. And I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you are too. Then we wanted this one, another big, beautiful white piece of, I don't know if it's granite or what it might be, but it's, for its size, surprisingly heavy, quite dense. Able to get it on, even though it's a quite clumsy size, but a beautiful shape. There on the front, and now the good old-fashioned getting the heavier rock onto the back of the cart, again, by placing your foot down to counterbalance the weight on the other side of the wheels. Once you get a little bit of rock on there, you can take your foot off, slide, maneuver, manipulate, however you need to get that bigger rock on the base. But this was too heavy to get up that hill, I'll admit it. So again, entrusting my lovely camera lady and wife to help me get these rocks into that trailer. And those were some of the biggest rocks that we had on our property. As you can see, the trailer is getting quite full. I don't know how much they all weigh collectively, but I certainly got a workout from that. And once we were finished, I was glad to be done. It was all about 20 minutes, but nonetheless, well worth the effort. And I'd say a great haul in such a short amount of time for some really large stones that would have been impossible and backbreaking to do any other way without heavy equipment. So I hope this gives you an idea of how great this tool is. And if you have any questions, please visit our website and get in touch.
20 minutes later, from all over the yard, we got a full load.
Look at that. Nice work.
Thank you. Let's load it up.